This is a podcast from the Wizards Guild.
You shall not pass!
You're a wizard, Harry.
Dark and difficult times lie ahead. Soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy.
We're off to see the wizard.
This is a podcast from the Wizards Guild. Youthwork Changes Lives.
So I'm Massey, I'm 18.
I'm Gray, I'm 18.
I'm Callum, I'm 18. Today we'll be talking about how youth work changes lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess our idea is to start off with our experience of youth clubs where youth work happens. So here in Seomra, I think I started going similar time as Callum, I think. That was roughly the end of TY or beginning of fifth year, I think.
I think it was beginning of fifth year.
Whereas I think, Gray, you've been going for a lot
Yeah,
longer.
I started going when I was 14 or so. Actually, a funny story about that. I originally started off in the LGBTQ group, and I had one of my friends tell me that I wasn't gay enough to go. But that's neither here nor there. So, honestly, I think what youth work does, or for me anyway, is like Seomra specifically, it provides me a space to actually hang out with friends, because I know this summer specifically I would not be where I am. Like, I wouldn't be hanging out with people. I'd literally be like shut away in my own messy, dirty, tiny room, crocheting away for like the rest of eternity. But with Seomra and like it's like scheduled hangouts.
Yeah.
It like provides me with outside contact, I suppose.
Yeah, last year I found it really difficult to actually plan things, like plan group activities and get out and about with my friend group. But Seomra has really helped me. Bring all my friends together and plan activities, fun activities that we can go out and do.
Like even recently, for the summer, like getting out and doing stuff, the majority of me getting out has been with Seomra every Thursday, whereas last week we went not costeering, rivereering or something.
Gorge walking, I think it's called.
Gorge walking, yeah.
Gorge walking, yeah. So swimming up the river, going underneath waterfalls. Then the week before that, what did we do?
We went to the beach, bodyboarding.
Oh yeah, we went to the beach bodyboarding.
And there was a barbecue, wasn't there?
Yeah, there
Barbecue
was.
as well. So, like in terms of going outside of, I guess my house or town into actual like wilderness or nature, the majority of that has been with Seomra. So that's like evidence, I guess, that it does work, and it does actually get young people out of their houses and doing things together with their friends. That isn't just like, I don't know, drinking or
video gaming.
Video games for like
Or
hours and hours and hours on end.
Yeah, that's another thing I find with Seomra is like on the days that I do go, I'm on my phone significantly less, because like I actually come to interact with people, and it's something that I really do enjoy doing. It's something like being with people without phones, because I don't know, like a couple of years ago it would just me be hanging out with people and we'd all be on our phones and like nothing productive gets done. But like with this designated space, I find that less technology is involved.
Before I came here, I had probably 2-3 friends. Like I'd talk to a few people, but I wouldn't really consider them as friends. But as soon as I came to Seomra, I got to know everyone and become good friends with them, and I still hang out with them today. So
yeah, and like even Navon, who's not with here today, so I won't say much. But like they came into the group one day and we kind of just adopted them, and we didn't know them beforehand, and like it kind of just is a testament to how happy and nice this environment is to kind of allow that introduction without like little to no kind of awkwardness around it. It kind of just happened.
I think a word I would want to use is welcoming.
Yeah.
Or like warm. Because, I don't know, it was 2023, it was in like November, October 2023. Maybe a little bit before that we got to know Navon, and now since a while ago actually, they've been like a core part of our friend group, and that happened in a really short space of time. Like because of Seomra, so it just, I guess, shows how quickly things can change, and how you can meet new people quite easily and become great friends with them.
Another thing I will say about Seomra, like, this doesn't exactly kind of speak to me as a person. I'm very privileged and I'm happy, like, how do I put this? I never have to worry about my next meal or like a roof over my head or whatever, but like one thing that I really like that Seomra does, and I think a lot of other youth places do too, is provide food. Sometimes I forget how essential it is, but like, you know, it can be the difference between a meal for someone.
And you never have to pay for anything. Like, you come here, you know, you can join in on the activities or do whatever, and you never have to pay.
It provides a lot of opportunities for like us and other people that we or they might not necessarily have without youth work, and I suppose that's kind of how it changes lives. It kind of broadens people's experiences and kind of gives them something to talk about and look forward to.
It also gives them a safe place that they can feel comfortable to speak.
Not just give them a place to... What were the words you said? Give them a place to talk to people. Not just like your friends, but also the youth workers. So adults that you can trust, adults that you know, like, you can say anything to, and there's no like consequences based off of what you say. Yeah, and then to comment on what you said earlier, how it brings... I don't know if you said it brings us out of our houses, but that we actually meet up and gather here. And when you were mentioning that we made friends with Navon quite quickly, and how, Callum, you made lots of friends quite quickly when you started going to Seomra. It's not just the time in Seomra that we spent together, but often every single time we go to Seomra, it's after Seomra's closed that we end up spending more time together afterwards, which we, like, that time that we'd spend together afterwards we wouldn't do if we hadn't gone to Seomra that day. So I think for our friend group, a lot of the time going to Seomra isn't just Seomra, but it's actually like a whole day spent together.
Yeah, it's a quite important kind of time for our like development, our development of relationships, like our friends.
And then also with the food thing, how great that you said it's kind of like underestimated how big of a difference it makes.
You know, I'm fortunate that my family can kind of give me money if I need to like get food or whatever, but not everyone has that.
Yeah.
There used to be a neurodivergent group here. I'm not sure if there still is, but I can attest that the sensory room is a huge kind of asset to it. It's like it kind of provides just a space where the lights just aren't blaring and the traffic isn't heard, and kind of just like a kind of quiet, safe space just to kind of just get frustrations out or kind of relax.
Yeah, kind of to go with that, I would say that it feels like a very private space. Like, if my friends and I want to have a personal conversation that we're not comfortable sharing with people, the science room is often where we go, and then we end up having loads of different conversations that branch out from the one. And it means we get to like talk to each other on a more personal level and not just a surface level kind of conversation, and it connects us more in that way as well.
Where would we kind of like to see this going, like in the future, I suppose? Like, let's say like we were 12 years old again, is there, I suppose, anything that we would change? Or
that's a hard question to answer out of the blue.
I suppose I'll start with my kind of thoughts on it then. I think, you know, like creating memories for people in like their formative years is always like a very kind of important thing, I suppose. Like, you know, in the early years, I only really hold on, sorry. I only really started doing things this year, but in the early years, I suppose I would have liked to do a little bit more. And also, like, you know, kind of youth work and such, like, it's kind of priceless, and, like, I always think that, like, these things deserve more funding, because, you know, sometimes there are problems with getting certain things. So I suppose that's kind of some of the things that I would change, but, like, overall I think it's a very positive experience.
Yeah, like our Seomra is very inclusive. We have, you know, a lot of areas that you don't need to go out do your exercise. Like, there's gaming things here, there's a pool, there's a sensory room, there's board games, you know, this little communal space they can all talk, you know, within. But one thing I would like is a cooking area.
Cooking facilities is one thing that I've been advocating for, even though I've had problems with that, where there's an air fryer, there's a microwave, and there's, like, what are they called? Ham and cheese toasty makers, I don't know what they're called.
A toaster.
Yeah, it's just like a different form of a toaster.
Yeah, it's a toaster.
Yeah. There's also a pancake maker. But to make anything that's more than a snack, I don't know if that's fair to say, but I feel like to make anything more than a snack, like if you want to make a proper
there is a
lunch or meal or dinner, you wouldn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids who don't learn how to cook at home, and I feel like that would be a great thing to have in Seomra, as you get to
skill.
Yeah, great skill. One thing we can talk about is about Seomra and teaching us the like life lessons, or helping us with colleges and or harms of certain substances, or like vapes, cigarettes, or other dangers in the world.
One thing I remember is specifically a talk, I think, again, it was about, like, I was 14, maybe 15 years of age, and they got a guy in to kind of talk to us about alcohol and, like, you know, how many units are in certain things, and, you know, the not the safe kind of amount to take each week, and what over drinking is and such. And, like, I remember that talk so vividly, and, like, a lot of the things that they said I kind of still kind of put into practice today, and I thought that was really, really kind of beneficial to me as a young person who, like, you know, most teenagers start drinking before the age of 18, I think. So to have that awareness around, you know, it's not exactly telling you not to drink, it's kind of telling you kind of the safety nets that are there.
It's educating you.
Yeah. And I think, like, stuff like that was really, really important.
I agree with that. I think like one of the first things, or maybe the most important thing when it comes to solving a problem, is like educating people on, or not necessarily educating people, but knowing what the problem is, knowing how it is, what it is, how it works, which, like, you do in the form of educating. So things like alcohol and drug misuse, you can tell people it's bad, but that's not necessarily going to stop people from doing it. Or you could tell people to not do it, but that's also probably not going to make them not do it. So I think the attitude that Seomra has to just educate people on how it works, what the dangers are, and how it affects people, that's kind of like the best way of solving that problem. Because then people actually understand the dangers of it. So,
and it's like one of those things, like, even if teenagers do end up doing the substances that, like, they're told not to do, like, all their lives, I'd suppose it prevents death in a lot of cases.
Definitely.
And I suppose that was one of the things where, like, you know, it does change lives. It kind of teaches you what parents, I suppose, wouldn't even think to teach. You know, I know my parents specifically took the stance of, like, oh, don't do it. Like, what did that accomplish but fearmonger me into, like, not, like, into thinking it's, like, the devil's spawn or something. Yeah. Not actually, but, like, kind of.
It's like the attitude of, like, don't do it, but if you do it, do it safely.
Yeah, another kind of thing that I kind of just thought about there is the do you guys remember when they kind of brought in, like, a bunch of different things, like the nails, the eyelashes, like how to do eyebrows and
Yeah.
makeup stuff, like that kind of gateways into another thing of like providing young people with different career choices that they might not have thought of beforehand. Like, you know, I loved doing the lashes, and like I like doing those kind of intricate things, and it kind of got me thinking, like, what if I did end up doing that? And there's good money in it too, so, you know, a lot of people push for young people to go into college when in actuality there are so many different careers out there that don't need a college degree. They just need like patience, learning, and maybe a 6-week course.
Yeah, they taught us that there's, you know, always another way into a course than just through a college.
Which is really beneficial because, again, not every young person wants to listen to their parents and wants to kind of follow whatever they have in mind for that specific thing. So kind of listening to kind of people outside that are patient, willing to help you, and offering these different things that, you know, you mightn't have really considered, or your parents wouldn't even like think about it. It can be the difference between ending up without any money because you just didn't know what to do with your life, to actually having a career, but like not the career that your parents wanted.
I think one thing that goes with that is the attitude that youth workers have towards like the young people that come in that they don't tell young people to do anything or like force anything upon them, but instead they kind of help the young people do what they want to do and guide them in the direction that they actually want to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than what a parent might do, which is like try and point them down the direction which they may or may not want to go down.
It also provides like a kind of a toxicity free environment. Like if you have like a toxic home or abusive parents, it can be quite nice just to kind of go someplace that has like a good energy, good vibes, I suppose, and it kind of brings you out of that kind of depressed space.
Yeah, because some people don't have, you know, yeah, as Gray was saying, very welcoming homes, either just in general or because of their sexuality or whatever. That Seomra or their youth club will, you know, doesn't have that. They just, everyone's open, doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can express yourself however
Exactly.
you want to. There's no fear of like judgment or consequence of just being yourself and like speaking your mind here, where like someone may have that or may have the opposite of that at home or wherever they're staying, or maybe in school it might be like the same. So it gives people a space to not have to fear.
Give them a break.
Yeah, give them a break, not have to fear any like judgment or backlash, or just feel comfortable and feel able to be open.
Youthwork Changes Lives from the Wizard Guild podcast at the Seomra Youth Centre, Bray.